The following program contains explicit American history. If you suffer from stupidity, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your revisionist historian.
Speaking the truth when others hold their tongues. Wrestling for justice with left-wingers and crocodiles. Resisting the temptation to keep the peace at any price. The man who creates social tension just by walking into the room, Randall Terry.
Hello, friend. Welcome to a special edition of Randall Terry, the voice of resistance. We're tooling down the road here in Oklahoma, doing some campaigning, a lot of interviews with newspapers, radio stations, been on TV a lot, as a matter of fact. It's going really well. Bring you up to speed in a minute on that. In today's show, you're going to have a chance to listen to me talk to a bunch of pastors in the Tulsa area, as well as deliver a special message to the media. Today's program brought to you in part by Standing Bear. Standing Bear, the first Indian Native American to be declared a human being by the Supreme Court. Duh! And by Ann Coulter. She teaches us how to talk to a liberal if we really must. Don't go away, friend. I'll be right back after this funny word from one of my funny friends.
Hi, Professor Slutzenheimer here. Oh, I didn't realize I still had my camouflage on. I'm hiding out because did you hear about the Iranian nuclear scientist that was killed, assassinated, obliterated? I don't want that to happen to me because you see, if it gets out that Hawking radiation was actually invented by me, that I'm the genius behind it, it was originally Slotzenheimer radiation, then I may be killed too. Let me get back into my box before they find me out.
Hello, friend. We're not making this up. In fact, Andrew is actually risking his life, sitting on the dashboard, illegally, I might add, while I'm driving down the road. Get out of my way! Can't you see I'm taping a television show? What's the matter with you? Anyway, I had the privilege of speaking to over 30 pastors in the Tulsa area. I hope that you enjoy what I share with them, and if you find it inspirational, tell somebody to go and watch it online. Here it is.
He has an unusual strategy that I've not heard of before about how to address this issue. So without anything to say, let me introduce to you Randall Terry.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Pastor Bob. Thank you, Pastor Michael, for the opportunity to be here. I will be brief because I promised that I would be brief. When I went to Bible school, I was a Bible major, missions minor. I've gone to 28 countries, and to see men and women with a passion for reaching souls is an absolute delight for me, and it's an honor for me to be with you. In Psalm 106, it says about the Jews, it says that they even sacrifice their sons and daughters to devils. They shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and daughters, and the wrath of the Lord was kindled against them, so that the Lord abhorred his own inheritance. He gave them into the hands of their enemies to rule over them. If you look in 2 Kings chapter 21, you see under the reign of Manasseh that the scripture says he filled the streets of Jerusalem with innocent blood. This is referring to child sacrifice, of course. Psalm 106, there's different passages in the book of Jeremiah and Ezekiel as well that specifically delineate that the valley of the son of Hinnom was where they were sacrificing little boys and little girls to pagan deities. Josiah came along, brought great revival, but God sent a prophet and said, yet because of the blood that Manasseh shed, I'm going to bring judgment. And the Babylonian captivity came out of that, and then thankfully the Jews were restored to their land. But the point is that blood talks to God. When Cain killed Abel, God said, your brother's blood is talking to me. And the blood of over 50 million children slain by surgical child killing. God only knows how many tens of millions dead from chemical child killing. This blood is crying out to God for judgment. And so you, as men of God, when you hear about child killing, when you go and maybe picket or participate in something, all of us get this sick feeling in our stomach, as we should. And we reach out to pregnant women. We help crisis pregnancy centers. We do these different things. We help young girls in our congregations that get pregnant. But the thing that I want to say to you is twofold. Number one, when we fight to save an unborn baby, that is the apex of loving our neighbor as ourself. Jesus said, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. And the Pharisee, willing to justify himself, said, well, who's my neighbor? And Jesus said, what? The parable of the Good Samaritan. There's a man dying in the ditch. And the priest and the Levite, who maybe had really good theology, passed by on the other side. And the Samaritan, who is the heretic, right? I mean, Samaritans were heretics. Jesus did it like a double slap. He said, these guys who had great theology didn't save the man's life. They didn't really love their neighbor as themselves. And oh, by the way, the guy who had bad theology, he saved the man's life. And in so many words, the Lord said, this is what it means to love your neighbor as yourself, that when his life is in jeopardy, you save him. So these babies that we're trying to save, we are, in effect, obeying the commandment of the Lord. Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. But even beyond that, and this plays to what I pray is a holy selfishness, if there is such a thing, or a righteous self-interest. When we try and stop the abortion holocaust in America, we are literally fighting for our own survival. The blood is talking to God. And you don't have to be a prophet to see that this country is dying. We're in great danger. I mean, our national debt, the chaos and the violence in some of our major cities, these bizarre weather patterns that take people out. If you read Deuteronomy chapter 28 and Leviticus chapter 26 and look at the blessings and the cursings that befall a nation, you know, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. But then there are this passages say that nations that forget God will be turned into hell. There's judgment that comes. If you look at Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26, it's almost like reading today's headlines. I mean, we're becoming slaves to China with our national debt, literally. I submit to you that our slow and gradual demise as a nation is connected directly, not indirectly, but directly to the shedding of innocent blood. And as we study 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, and we see, or even the book of Judges for that matter, when you see the slow descent of Israel, they had moments where they kind of pop back up, but they just kept going down further and further. The demise of Israel, the judgment of the northern 10 tribes, and which were obliterated, and then the captivity of the southern tribes, it happened over time. And so we as a nation are slowly decaying. And I submit to you that it is directly connected to the shedding of innocent blood. And that if we want this nation to survive as we know her, as we understand her, because the real estate's always going to be here, someone's going to control it. But if we want this nation, one nation under God, this nation with such a unique providential history, if we want her to continue to be a light to the world, then we've got to stop the killing of our babies. Can I get any witness? We've got to stop this Holocaust. We've got to stop killing babies. And it falls to us. Maybe the priest and the Levite prayed on the way by. Maybe the Levite was a great songwriter and wrote a song, Dying in the Ditch. But that didn't please the Lord. It was the stopping of the death. It was the saving of the life. So I submit to you that on the cultural level, the political level, on the level of connecting the ethics of Christianity, our Judeo-Christian heritage, to public policy, our number one priority is to end the killing of children, to make it a crime from conception until birth to murder an innocent person. All right. Having said that, what do you have to pass a good law? You have to have a good lawmaker, right? You have to have good men in office, good women in office. So I am running against President Obama in the Democratic primary. I will not beat him. I won't win. I'm not delusional. But because I'm running as a federal candidate, I can run my ads on television. Have any of you seen these intense ads that have been running? Okay, here. We've been running these ads on TV. American Idol, person of interest. If it's my wife, tell her I'm busy. American Idol, person of interest, 2020. We're running these ads all over Oklahoma saying to people, if you vote for Obama, knowing that he is promoting the murder of babies, knowing that he's now trying to force the Catholic Church, Christian institutions, private insurance carriers, trying to force us to pay for abortifacients, drugs that kill babies. If you vote for him, you share in the guilt of his crimes. If you vote for him, you empower him to attack the church and to murder babies. I mean, this is sound ethics, amen? So my ads, as you can imagine, are creating a firestorm. And my hope and my prayer is that I can get 5 or 6% of the vote, maybe 10 or 12% of the vote. And then I'm going to run in the general election in Florida, Virginia, Colorado, Ohio, North Carolina, and Iowa. All swing states. With this barrage of TV ads showing aborted babies, showing that Obama is, by a philosophical definition and a political definition, he is a tyrant on these issues, and running these ads and saying, if you're a Christian, you cannot vote for this man with a clean conscience. You cannot. And if I can suppress 5 or 6% of the vote in the Democratic, or rather in the general election, in those swing states that I mentioned, we can deny Obama a second term. And I submit to you, as we spoke about innocent blood, this is a fight for our survival. But please let your congregations know, Saturday night, March 3rd, 7 o'clock, public rally, no fee to get in. It'll be a time when we can come together and say, we are Christians, we believe in the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who has said, thou shalt not murder, and it is our mission to crush this Holocaust and drive it back to hell where it came from. Amen? Amen. Thank you for the privilege of being here. God bless you. Thank you so much. Well, there you have it. It was a great privilege for me to speak to those pastors in the Tulsa area. Now, I don't even know where we are now. We're somewhere between, what is it, Ponca City? Ponca City and Oklahoma City. So, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I have a special message. Hold on, Andrew. I don't want you to die, buddy. We have a special message for the liberal media over the use of the word Satan. Did you know, by the way, that the word television media in ancient Aramaic means those that are the mouthpieces for Satan? I'll be right back.
Randall and I were watching a presidential broadcast when he turned to me and said, how can I express my contempt for this man without using language too foul for broadcast? I said, that's easy, Randall. Just say, Johnson is a perfect example of why there's so many more of those than there are of horses.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I've been making superb nutritional supplements for over 15 years, and from day one, I've partnered with Randall Terry, helping to fund his invaluable work in reclaiming our country's biblical and godly roots. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives since its inception.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 essential areas of nutrition your body needs on a daily basis. Each serving of the Total Living Drink provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, enzymes for better digestion and nutrient absorption, protein for building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat for fuel, probiotics for better intestinal function, herbs for building energy and stamina, antioxidants for maximum immune function and disease prevention, and all the vitamins and minerals you need for slowing down aging and maximum health. You would have to take 30 to 40 capsules each day and spend almost $10 a day to match the over 30,000 milligrams of total nutrition in each scoop of the Total Living drink. Order right now and get started on the amazing Total Living drink. They come in 2 delicious flavors, Total Living Drink Greens and Total Living Drink Berry. And every single dollar we receive, we give a generous amount to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Visit us online at the address on your screen and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today, and for the daily price of a latte, you can get back on the road to better health and energy with Kylea's Total Living drink.
Do you know what Jesus and Randall Terry have in common? They both know how to crack a whip. Whip it good. Ah!
Hello, friend. Welcome back to the program. It is I, your servant Randall, tooling down the road with Andrew. We're in Oklahoma. If you just joined us, campaigning here for president, running against President Obama. You know, that's actually funny. Obama. When you drive down the road and you're campaigning all day long, things start to come out of your mouth halfway sideways. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. I just make this stuff up. Andrew, you getting this all on tape? This on tape? Okay. So anyway, as you know, the secular press, the kind of New York, D.C. corridor, became slightly apoplectic last week when they wanted to do the Spanish Inquisition version of Rick Santorum's use of the word Satan. Do you believe in Satan? Do you believe in creation or evolution? So I thought I would tape a rebuke, and I'd like to play that rebuke for your edification. I hope that you enjoy it. Here is my rebuke to the, dare I say it, satanic media. Hello, friend. I'd like to talk to you for just a minute about Rick Santorum and Satan. Yes, Rick Santorum is in a lot of hot water right now because he dared to say that Satan had his sights set on America and that Satan had a horrible influence in the political realm and in colleges and in certain denominations, etc. And of course, the mainstream media, dare I say that they're led by Satan, that the mainstream media is now jumping down Rick Santorum's throat and basically saying that we can't trust a man like this to be the Republican nominee and even perhaps the president if he believes in Satan. President Obama recently tried to force the Catholic Church and all Christian institutions to pay for drugs that would murder the unborn. He then compromised and said, well, I'll just force your private insurance carriers to carry drugs for all of your employees so that they can pay for the murder of the unborn. It doesn't matter about your religious freedom. It doesn't matter about your conscience. It doesn't matter if you don't want to be involved in the murder of the unborn. You will. Can I ask you a question? Does that sound possibly satanic? You see, the mainstream press jumped all over Rick Santorum because Rick Santorum actually has a theocentric view of life and law and liberty. That there is a God, that he made us, that he gave us rules to live by. President Obama, on the other hand, who is openly at war with the church, with Christian ethics, with the unborn, with human life itself, he gets a pass. So let me just say this about that. President Obama is what the Bible calls an evildoer. All right? This might come as a shock to some of our friends in the New York, D.C. media corridor, but there is a person, an actual entity called Satan. He used to be called Lucifer, and then he turned his back on God and rebelled against God, and he and a third of the angels were thrown into hell. All right? And from there they come and they torment the human race, and they lead people on earth, like President Obama, to do evil things, like murder the unborn, and like make open war on the Catholic Church, and like try and force the church and Christian institutions and private insurance carriers to pay for drugs that murder the unborn. So, my advice to the mainstream press is this: lose your bigotry. Open your heart and mind just a little bit to the truth. And if you can't do that, then do your job and jump on Obama more for attacking human life and attacking the church and attacking religious liberty than you do on Rick Santorum for making what is probably a very sound theological statement. The problem is our friends in the New York, D.C. media corridor don't have a sound theological framework from which to view the world, so they sit as an open prey to Satan. Take that and put it in your sulfur-laden pipe and smoke it. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Look, when you get as famous as me, you gotta do your own car work too, okay? Don't be alarmed, I'm a professional on a closed track.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
Democracy is a very bad form of government, except for all the others that have been tried from time to time. Sir Winston Churchill. Welcome back to the program, friend. As I mentioned to you, I'm up in Oklahoma campaigning, and I encourage you to Google my name. Just do a Google News search or some other search engine for Randall Terry in the news. You'll see an awful lot of newspaper coverage, not to mention TV and radio. As you know, probably tonight when you see this, it will be the deciding night for Michigan and for Arizona. As of right now, Rick Santorum leads Obama in the 12 swing states by 3 points. And whereas Romney is tied with him, and Obama is having a cratering of his numbers over healthcare and the HHS regulations. Him trying to force people to pay for child killing, drugs that cause abortion, and basically running roughshod over religious freedom. We'll keep you posted on that. Speaking of running roughshod, I just want to say that we went to the Standing Bear Museum. There are actually 5 tribes. Was it 5 or 7, Andrew?
It's 5.
Yeah. There are 5 tribes at this museum in the really nice facility. 5 tribes represented, a history of some of the sufferings of the Indians. And like every time I focus on what Native Americans went through, I feel sick to my stomach and I feel filled with rage. And I just want to say this to you. There is a God in heaven, and he actually watches how people treat the orphan and the widow. And I promise you that for the most part, there were wars where it was just to defend, for the white man to defend himself, but for the most part, what the settlers did to the American Indians was immoral. It was just flat out immoral. And God only knows how much of a reckoning we have had to go through, or we will yet go through, for oppressing the innocent, for oppressing the orphan, for oppressing the widow, for stealing people's land from them. It's abominable. It is absolutely abominable. I'm going to take a break. Be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. We'll talk a little something from George Washington. Oh yeah, he owned slaves too. Yeah, go figure. May his days be few. May another seize his goods. May his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. May his children wander about and beg. May they be driven out of the ruins they inhabit.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
George Washington said, "The harder the conflict, the greater the triumph." Friend, we are in a fight for the soul of this nation. And it's a conflict, frankly, that we've been losing for a long time. And now it's going to take real men and women of courage to rise to the occasion. But if we prevail, it will be a great triumph. God bless you.